For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a review on a nice new product here from Vango. So this here is the Vango Rhone. The Rhone basically is, the best way to think of it is a polycotton version of the galley. So for a number of years the galley has been probably one of Vango's most popular driveway awnings because it side fits on and certainly allows small vehicles like sort of T5s, T6s or V-dubs, any sort of V-dubs you have, to give yourself almost like a tent that attaches on. But the difference to this being is obviously it's polycotton. So the polycotton fabric obviously is a much nicer fabric, and certainly anyone who's had previous canvas tents or necessarily have been in the sweltering heat inside a tent can really relate to this. So it's ideal mainly for going across to abroad, or even in the UK you will notice quite a massive temperature difference inside of a polycotton tent or awning in relation to a polyester. So one thing I do is polycotton fabric actually sort of allows to open up and almost breathe and allows moisture to go through. So the thing is actually in hotter weather it's a lot cooler inside because the material can expand, allow it to come through, and be on the flip side of that, when it's cooler the weave sort of retains this sort of shape of it and allows to keep the warmth in. Naturally, what you also find in polycotton is actually in terms of the wind it's a lot quieter because it's more like a natural fabric rather than like a man-made fibre. But generally the sort of drawbacks can be that it's a little bit heavier, so just to be bear in mind, it's a little bit longer to dry out, but in terms of lifespan, will last you longer as well. I wouldn't go honestly across to sort of mainland Europe without a polycotton tent or awning for that matter, if you're going to be in it a lot of time and down to ventilation. So this, like I said, one of the best selling models just made in polycotton. So what the joys of it obviously is you've got each beam's done individually and it allows it to freestand so you can drive where you want to. You've still got things like necessary storm straps, the Vango valve system, also Vango line lock system, which allows you to obviously get easy tension and fluorescent guy ropes to see visibility as well. One thing to bear in mind actually in comparison to its sort of competitor, which would be the Camper Touring Classic Air, is that this comes in a tall model as well as a low model. So one thing is, doesn't matter if you've got a small vehicle like that, or more importantly, a motor model, this is now an option for you. Joys of, like I said, in terms of the previous thing with the galley, is that the internal room is brilliant, and also in terms of, you've got tons and tons of light with PVC windows everywhere to allow plenty of light when you want to, but also you've got curtains to get the sort of privacy when you want to as well. Like I said, you can check out our own sort of pitching and packing video on sort of the galley to see how quick and easy it does go up. But more importantly, actually for 2019, I should say, the bag has changed. So it's a lot easier to get back in the bag because rather than be a sort of a duffel bag with a drawstring puller on one end, it's like a zip open bag, which honestly will make your life a lot easier. I know I've had a few people saying that it's very hard to get back in the bag. So now with that rectified, it should be much simpler. The canopy on the front actually acts as a good area, not only for sort of shelter against sort of rain, but the wind. You can quite happily see yourself sitting out here with a couple of tables and chairs and just in sort of the cove of it, which is quite nice. Generally, like I said, one thing to bear in mind is obviously with the warranty that you get with Vango as well, it's very good. So you've got a 2-year warranty as standard and a 3rd year free when you register online once you buy it through a company like us. We will be having some sort of this model on display at our indoor showroom, so you can always come and check out that. But let's talk a bit more about kind of the features on the inside of it as we have a look and see what it's got to offer. So now we're inside the Rhone, you can kind of see a bit more what I was talking about on the outside. Your internal space is actually brilliant. So you've got plenty of room under cover, a good canopy, like I said, you can sit out there quite happily in sort of a wet or stormy weather, and you've got that just a little bit of extra shelter. On the front door, you've got your normal door, but you also got a mesh door, which obviously is going to help you with circulation. So you can get a much more kind of nice sort of draft coming through without having to worry about being sort of too hot inside of here. Generally, like I said, you've got the ability of nice big strong PVC windows, which have been upgraded for 2019, but you've also got privacy curtains as well. So what you can do is if you want to get obviously a bit of privacy, those just zip up like that. Nice and good coverage. It means also you can go down halfway if you want to allow a bit of lighting but still keep the privacy as well. And then you just zip down. They've got a little toggle point just at the bottom. You can just roll it up, and just a little toggle retainer as well will keep it at bay. Perfect. To help with obviously ventilation, you've still got extra vents, so not only at the top here in the canopy, but at the back here as well as just below the windows along the far side. Just give yourself a good circulation air to keep it sort of fresh, airy, and also sort of help sort of combat condensation inside the actual model itself. One thing most people probably do is look at buying additional inner tents to sleep people inside of here. So you can put sort of two berth inner tents inside. The same one can actually be turned inside out, so it can be positioned in sort of this on the left hand side or on the right hand side, depending on what you want to do with it. Yeah, again, that just merely attaches onto little clips positioned, stitched into the top. One thing probably to bear in mind is actually with this being kind of, like I said, the polycotton version of the galley, you've got also, not only is it polycotton, but you've got what they call colour lock. So colour lock is something that's to make the fabric last even longer again, and obviously stop it necessarily fading so quickly in sort of over, high sunlight. Especially when you go abroad, that's something that's obviously with the UV being stronger out there, you find that's probably more of an issue than it would be normally. Generally, like I said, you've got beautiful big windows at the front to get clarity, but then all the way around, including into the attachment area, it just helps to make it feel light and airy inside. I probably will say actually when it's pitched on a vehicle in comparison to where it's on its own, the colour system doesn't look as sort of washed out a little bit. That's one thing before we toned it down a little bit, just to kind of help with everything really. Generally, one thing that's really good when you've got like a T5, something like that, is having that extra bit of storage area around the back here. Just kind of gives you a bit of room where you can chuck a few bits and bobs out the way, muddy shoes and whatnot, without taking it into your lovely clean sort of main part of your living area. And again, you've also got a couple of doors in the attachment, so each side just here has got a door, so you can enter sort of in from the front or in from the back, depending on what you want to do. So you don't have to go through the awning every time you want to go into the vehicle. You've also got a mesh door in here as well, in between the two sections, as well as a little step down, so there's no actual trip hazard when you come inside, which just helps it again to make it coming in and out of the vehicle just so easy. Generally, like I said, you've also got basically what's called tension band system, so it's a little webbing strap that clips into the top here, just to give you a bit more internal bracing if you need it. It's not something you see gets used very often, but it's there at your discretion. So what it does, it braces this angle part here. So if you've got wind coming in from one side, it just tensions it and helps it to retain its shape to make it sort of, again, stronger winds. 99% of people probably don't even use it, let alone it exists, but it's there to use it if you want to. It's something that's unique to Vango and something they only sort of offer. Also, like I said, there is a model on the market which is the compact. So you've got the normal galley version versus this version. There is a little bit of difference in the price. Personally, for polycotton, I think it's worth it. Like I said, it's something that if you've ever been in one, you can really relate to. Like I said, with a new bag system, the way it opens, got an example here. It's not bad, quite small, compact, and again with the pump included inside of that, it does really help to make it fit into a vehicle. But most people like this probably pitch this up, you drive on, drive off, leave your stuff inside as you see. Generally, you can check out, like I said, our own pitching packing video on the galley to see what the difference is, but let us know what you think of it. Comment in below, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, do whatever you wish, but let us know what you think. It's one probably, like I said, we'll try and get up our indoor display showroom in some form, whether it be the galley but in the polycotton material, so you can get a good example of it. That's worth doing, but generally that really is the Vango Rhone. Any problems, let us know here at Attwoolls.